Welcome back, Kingdom Cast. It's your host, Super Champ Chuck. We back at it with another episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share all your social media platforms. It is us three. My guy Country's on the top right. My guy D-Mac is back on the bottom of the screen. So yeah, the Chargers, of course, they didn't have enough full voltage in their batteries as we turned their lights out in the second half. So we won by the final score of 31-17. And by this title of this episode, it looks different with the defense. And when we say different, it means a lot better with the defense. So yeah, let's go and get to the recap, man. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they put on the show per usual. It was National Tight Ends Day. And you know what Travis Kelce does on National Tight Ends Day, especially against this team. So he went for a $179 tutty. Taylor Swift was at the game again, of course, so he had to show out for her again. Patrick, he threw for over 400. It was like 425, somewhere in that range. But he threw for like 350 in the first half. And the second half, they slowed down for both teams because it was more high scoring in the first half. But at the end of the day, man, we did enough to win the game. Defense played lights out, like I said, per usual. Unfortunately, we lost a key player on our defense. He won't be back till late in the season. But let's go ahead and go around the room here. Country, let's get your thoughts on the game.
Man, it looked different with the defense, baby. It looked different. Now, one of the concerns in the predictions of the last video was, hey, we always play the Chargers tight. It's always a one score. It's always we pull it out thin air and we win the game. Yesterday, it was a little different. It started off like that, and then after that, after halftime, the Chiefs defense stepped up and said, no more, no more. Herbert, we're not letting you have a day. You've been playing bad. We're going to keep you playing bad. And they, what was it? Interception, punt, 3-and-out, 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 interception? Something like that. I might be a little off, but the defense stepped up and said, we're not going to let you have a day. And they shut them down. This. We've never seen anything like this in the Mahomes era. Mm-hmm. Never. And it's still scary, and you can tell people haven't seen it because when you say do a score, they're still like, well, I don't know how I don't know how it's gonna work out. It's usually a close game, but no, it's something different. It's different. We've never seen this, and I also think the Chiefs might be a step ahead of the curve as usual. Because I think it's starting to go back to defense winning championships.
It's always been that way.
In the NFL. No, it was
for the most part.
Yeah, but it was a pass happy offense driven league. I think it's starting to slowly. I don't know. I might be ahead of the curve my damn self, but go ahead, D-Man.
What you think? No, look, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, but throughout the first few weeks of the season, we've seen a lot of lows as far as points per game, EPA per draft pack, sack rate, things of that nature. Defenses have been winning across the league more so than offenses have. Now, this could be an early season trend, and over the course of the season, these things even out. Could definitely happen, but we'll end up seeing where that goes. But to speak on it specifically, this was a big test of where, how much this defense was really real to me or not real. Because you're playing a difference-making quarterback. And look, we can talk all about Herbert, the late game interceptions, the issues that we've seen him have, who's holding back who as far as the Chargers are concerned, et cetera, et cetera. Herbert is an extremely talented quarterback. That is a fact. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That is also a fact. That man it can throw to any part of the field, and we saw that at times throughout the game in which he was able to extend plays. Being able to do what they did against that level of quarterback, and specifically this team who we had always played close games and shootouts in the Mahomes era because we never had a defense like this, them holding them to a shutout in the second half, and I pulled it up just to make sure. Interception, punt, interception. Those were the 5 drives in the second half. That's all they got. And you can even bring it back to a punt and end of the half where they nailed it out at the end of the second half or end of the first half, before halftime as well. They played spectacular football. They got beat early. Some of the secondary was getting, kind of thrown off for the up-tempo stuff. They didn't necessarily generate that pass rush early on. And then as they were able to get that lead going out of halftime, it being up 24-17, that really was able to allow the defense to settle in. They really attacked Justin Herbert. They got after him with the 4-man pass rush with Charles Omenihu coming back, and that sparked everything. So, look, I mean, the way that this team is currently built, like you said, this is easily the best defense, in my opinion, of the Mahomes era, certainly in the regular season. And everything just gets so much easier. The margin for error is much wider when you have the ability to have that type of defense on your side. And we've seen that throughout the beginning of the season. There are, middling teams like the Browns that can go and win games because their defense is excellent. And there are great teams like, maybe or Philadelphia that can go and win games that maybe their offense is sputtering in because their defense is excellent as well. So that's really what matters if your team can put it together on both sides of the ball. And right now the Chiefs have that certainly in spades.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely benefited the offense that the defense is playing so well. They're allowed to grow, and you're starting to see the growth too. That's another thing but go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry.
No, you good, bro. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and touch on this defense a little bit. Let's start with the defense first before we get into the fireworks of the offense. Man, look, Chris Jones, unfortunately, his consecutive game sack streak ended, unfortunately, but he still made an impact.
He didn't get one? I thought he got one.
No, he did not.
Didn't he get half of one?
He led the team in pressures. I think he had 7.
Oh yeah.
But he was in the backfield all the time. But no, he did not get his sack. 5 other people did get sacks on the day.
Yeah.
Drew Tranquil got one versus a former team. We saw Charles Omenihu first. We saw Mike Dana continue his streak of sacks versus the Chargers. Willie Gay had a huge one when the Chargers.
A big one.
That blitz was so beautiful.
Yeah, he absolutely stonewalled that drive because they were moving into field goal territory, and he shot through the line, was able to get Justin Herbert down. And
13 of them.
Got himself a sack early on as well. So, yeah, you got it. We got plenty of sacks to go around.
Yeah, so, like we mentioned, Chris Jones still impacted the game either way it go. But once again, we got to give Spags his flowers, man, because Spags, he is really in his bag this year as far as dialing up blitzes, dialing up schemes. I don't see many misalignments. I think I might have seen maybe two, maybe 3 big misalignments throughout the entire game on that Chiefs defense. Other than that, everyone was lined up in the right spot, and they made it pretty difficult for the Chargers offense to especially get something going in the second half. Like the first half, Justin Kelly broke off that big run. And then Josh Palmer, somebody had to get off for the Chargers offense. But the best part is that we held Austin Eckler in check. He didn't have any big plays. Keenan Allen, he only had 3 catches, 53 yards. We held him in check pretty good. So that's a huge W for the defense.
Can we talk about some unsung heroes? I know we know the guys, but Derek Nottie had a good game and a huge, like you just said, Austin Eckler. Derek Nottie literally shut him down, and that was like it for the day for him. Mm-hmm. George is quietly putting in. George is, hey man, Tamba Ali, bro. We need to hire you, bro. You need to be an offensive D-line coach and just get with everybody, work on their hand movement. Whatever they did during the offseason, y'all do that. Felix, get on the line. Do that next year. Because George is having a year. He's not getting the sacks, but he's getting the sacks too, though. Yeah, but the pressures, he's all over the field. He's slapping balls all the time. Like, hey, man, pause. And that's a big pause. He's slapping balls. Pause. Yeah. But George is having a good season. Hey, Justin Reed had a hell of a pass deflection yesterday. I know we've been on him a little bit, and it was a little taken out of context, Justin Reed, but it's okay. It's all right. It happens. But you know what I'm saying? Justin Reed is playing good. Brian Cook finally got an interception.
He did.
It's like, hey, man, everybody's contributing. It's like nobody is you're not pointing at nobody and saying, oh, okay, if we're going to attack this guy, it's going to be this guy. Because even if you attack Watson's coming up with plays. You attack Josh comes up with plays. Like everybody is contributing on all 3 levels, bro. Leo, Drew, Willie Gay had a hell of a game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The whole D line from Ricky, everybody except Mac Dickerson.
Yeah.
We'll get into the Matt Dickerson of it all.
No, really, Mac. Leave Matt alone.
No, you're right. You are absolutely right.
It's amazing.
All three levels of the defense are playing at a very high level right now, and that's what you need. Like I said, they get after us early, being able to do the up tempo stuff with some of the kind of deep concepts of play action. They did a good job of kind of catching us at base and working off of that, and you got to give them credit for that. But they adjusted as they needed to. Williams and Watson got beat a little bit early on, and they were able to adjust and get better. The safeties were giving up a little bit deep, but even Brian Cook, again, even when he did get beat deep, he was able to make a great, open field tackle. He was able to make a great open field tackle, and that was important, John. That's awful.
Family show, John.
Hey, John is in the early runnings for comment of the night. John, you are leading the pack right now. Somebody take him off this pedestal, but he is leading the pack with that one. Thank you. I needed that laugh. I'm sorry, D-Mac. I'm sorry. That was totally out of character for John.
They're all contributed. It's great to see. I'm very happy to see all of them coming together and playing at a high level. You mentioned that George Galapagos is top 5 in pressures in the league. And look, it's not necessarily spectacular winning quickly, but the fact that now you combine Chris Jones and Charles Omenihu, who are both guys that do win quickly, and then you add his motor on top of that, and you add Mike Gannon to the group, and you add the ability for Felix to sometimes give you the speed rush. Layering the pass rush is all you want to do, and that's exactly what's working so well. And that's what caused pressure, and that caused the interception to Brian Cook because Justin Herbert was sick of getting hit at a certain point.
Yeah, and that group that he's in is Crosby, Hutchinson. Like, these aren't slouches. He's in elite company right now. Like, is in the top 5. Mm-hmm. Just those 2 names alone are great names. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, George he's in that conversation. If he get double-digit sacks, they're gonna start looking at him different. Not to say he's like defensive player of the year or nothing like that, but you're gonna have to start game planning around Karlaftis. Did I say his name right? I got it right. Yeah, I feel good. I felt good about that.
You can't game plan around Karlaftis because you got a game plan for Charles Omenihu, Chris Jones first, and then you got a game plan for Spags blitz practices.
Exactly.
The fact that now you have multiple layers to the ways in which you get after the quarterback that don't include Steve Spagnuolo and his insane ways that he decides to send players from all different manners. It's insane. Like Willie Gay made a great play. Justin Herbert was trying to do quick game, and Willie Gay, they only sent 3. Willie Gay just kind of stood there and stood in the window but knocked down the pass. But they sent 3 and still got some pressure off the edge because they both won so quickly that Justin Herbert decided he had to go quick game over the middle. It's great to see because defensive line, as far as pass rush is concerned, has to be complementary. You got to have multiple people winning, and you got to have multiple people winning at different levels to make sure that the quarterback can't escape. And that's exactly what you got now.
And you want to know what's crazy? Charles Omenihu, he only played 51% of snaps, and he still made a big impact on this game.
It looked like he was out there on every snap. That's how much he was causing havoc. It looked like he was out there every snap.
I tried to tell people like, oh no, Charles Omenihu can't make that much of it. I'm telling y'all, that much of a difference maker, dog. He is. He just is. He plays at such a high level. He wins quickly. He was one of the best pass rushers on the last year. He is that great of a player, man. And now you put him next to Chris Jones. Oh man, I told people Charles Omenihu was going to be great for us.
I don't know how they didn't know that. During the last preseason he played, he put on a display of this is what I'm going to do.
He sure did, man. He
took that and he was all over the field. They just Charles Omenihu. They just kept saying his name. He was disruptive all over the field. Like, he put on a display of what was coming in 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And
you had to watch the games, man.
He was waiting for this. He was waiting for this opportunity. I want to see him be able to carry it throughout the rest of the season, and certainly, obviously, start next week. But yeah, I'm so excited to have him.
Who have you seen do a week countdown Then he went to a day countdown. Then he went to like a second countdown. Like he was just literally counting down. Like, okay, now it's time. And he showed. He showed like 51% of the. Are you sure?
Positive. I'm looking right at it, bro. Like,
Man, he played. He played more than
I
that.
didn't necessarily expect him to play even that many, but like you said, it felt like he was in there on every snap because he was just that impactful.
That's
like you saw
well,
him play, like he had two. He had the quarterback twice. He had a sack, and then he had a pass deflection that led to an interception.
Mm-hmm. And a big time one. That was, we're down within the 10. But I mean,
Darius Sneed, as a matter of fact, came in with that one.
Yep. Sneed, right. The fact, and look, Mike Edwards would have came away with it if Sneed didn't.
Right. They was both
now you've legitimately got 5 guys that you feel comfortable throwing out there to rush the passer, and that's not including obviously throwing Willie Gay or Leo Chanel out there for an edge snap, or obviously the bits packages. It's just great to know that there's a real defensive line rotation because it felt like for a long time we didn't really have a defensive line rotation. And
man,
I'm still not against adding Frank Clark to this group because I would love to have his veteran presence and possibly hear for the playoffs. But just having a real defensive line rotation is nice.
Yeah, and a linebacker rotation because if normally you lose a guy like Nick Bolton, you're like, oh, 2 months, like, oh my god, like, what are we gonna do? But I'm not overly concerned that Nick Bolton's not going to be playing for 2 months. Yeah, it's not killing me. I think we're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this will be all right.
The wrist is tough. We'll see what the surgery ends up happening, but
right. Is he going to be wearing like one of those club things?
It's tough because the wrist isn't like the hand. So the hand, usually you can have the club because the hand is just kind of immobile and you can just, hold it in place. But the wrist controls so much and it has, a lot of, obviously connects all the way to the forearm, elbow, and then all the way to the hand. You don't necessarily want to club that up because if you move it the wrong way, it can create like a whole bunch of different issues. So he'll probably have to be fully healed before he comes back out. But again, like you said, we have the linebacker depth. I think Nate Thurman said that they expect him back sometime in December, early January, sometime around the new year. That's fine. Leo Chanel can hold, or I should say Drew Tranquil can hold down that Mike linebacker spot. We've seen Willie Gay and Leo Chanel play very well. And so hopefully we should be good. And look, Jack Cochran, we'll see what kind of snaps he can maybe give in relief as well. But hopefully those 3 guys can stay healthy. We should be fine until Nick Bolton gets back.
Yeah, we do get more of little Leo Chanel, so I mean that's pretty exciting.
People love clips of Leo, man. They've been waiting to see some more Leo.
Bro, Leo makes a big play. He seems like he make a big play every game.
Yeah, he do. Yeah. Shout out to our co-host Boogie. He had a happy birthday. He's 47 years old. Them dreads looking like Stevie Wonder.
How you gonna call him 47? You look older than him.
Yeah. Bro, he's not on the show. I'm allowed to talk to him. Crazy. Why would you ruin that? Why would you ruin that?
I'm allowed to tackle.
He said it. Boogie said if you don't make the show, you're allowed to be attacked. So I'm attacking Boogie right now. Leave me alone. I'm in my zone.
My bad, bro.
Jesus Christ.
My fault.
You look older than him. Like, whose side are you on, bro?
Nah, but
I don't even feel comfortable no more.
Nah, but anywho, man.
Shout out to Boogie, man. Happy birthday, dog. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
my G.
Oh, man. But yeah, dog. As we get past the front 7, yeah, Chris, my bad.
Mike Edwards, bro. Mike Edwards is.
I can't even say we're gonna get to the secondary.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Get right into it.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Nah, it's already. You already got it now. You already said it now. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike Edwards has a nose. I know it's cliche, but Mike Edwards has a nose for the ball. He should be up like 3 interceptions, so he should be like 5 or 6. He should be close to leading the league in interceptions.
Yeah.
He's like Juan Thornhill. He can get there. He just can't catch it. At least he catches it though sometimes.
He got better hands than what Juan had.
Yeah, he does have better hands than Juan. But he's like, and this was the secondary part of it because I said that the makings of the defense were good. It was just the question mark of could you do the two things that would make your defense great? Can you get to the pass rusher with 4? Obviously, adding Charles Omenihu, that piece feels like it's fallen into place as far as that's concerned. Can you take the ball away from the other team? That piece has fallen into the place the last few weeks. And Mike Edwards is a big part of that because of how around the ball, like you said, having nose for the football, being able to break on routes and really take the ball away. It's been spectacular to watch. So
Look, you stupid.
he's been everything that we wanted out of a third safety. And when this team gets a lead and you have to deal with the pass rush and the blitz packages out of nickel with Drew Tranquil in coverage and the secondary flying around trying to take the ball away and McDuffie and Snead being physical with all your wide receivers and taking Keenan Allen out of the game, good luck, dog. Like, I
Good
wish
luck.
luck trying to score on him. Like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
When do you start getting concerned about re-signing some of these guys?
Yeah,
I'm not
off-season?
concerned right now. I mean,
I'm
based on Brett Beach's track record with drafting and stuff, I mean, it's not a big concern.
It's a lot of guys though.
Yeah,
Tranquil is one. Willie
Drew.
Gay, Snead, Mike Edwards.
Yeah.
Who else? I'll say Willie Gay.
Dana, the pending free
Dana.
agent. I mean, look, I'd love to tell you that I'm concerned, but honestly, I'm enjoying this too much. I'm enjoying having a great
I got you.
to be concerned. Like, we're going for back-to-back titles, man. I'll deal with the who's re-signing, who's not signing in the offseason.
In the offseason. Okay, I feel you.
That's my feeling. Like, this is just too much fun to watch at this current moment in time. Because, like, this reminds me of some of the older, Chiefs teams that I was watching as a kid that were really actually, like, getting after as far as defense, dictating to the offense. And that I haven't felt certainly in the Mahomes era, but in a while. So being able to dictate what the offense has to do based on how great your personnel is, that's a fun thing to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me tell you something, fam. Because, like, at the end of the day, man, this is what happens when you build a great roster, man. This is what happens when you build a deep roster, pretty much everywhere, all positions, and you're gonna run into these kind of great problems. So that just goes to the territory.
I was watching our cousins Arrowhead Chiefs podcast. They had Matt Verderame on today. Y'all should go check that out if y'all haven't. It was a good interview.
Nice.
Matt said that he's going back further than the 90s. He's going back to Buck Buchanan, Bobby Bell defense, like 69 Super Bowl 1 through 4 defense with Hall of Famers.
I don't think I can pass.
I don't know if I can go that far.
Yeah, I don't think I can pass up the 90s defenses because I mean, it's so amazing to have DT and Neal just leading your pass rush first and foremost off the edge. I mean, that was just that's because obviously you're playing bad, and that's two X factors always on, just immediate pass rush wins versus running attack.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that. Anytime you drop back to pass, your quarterback is getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get DeAndre Hopkins so Boogie can move on with his life. He needs closure.
Man, we're still asking about receivers, man. Yeah.
Hey, Boogie, if we sign DeAndre Hopkins, you got to cut your dreads off.
What are you gonna say about that?
Let's see who you love more, bro.
Show me some commitment, Boogie.
Yeah, where that commitment at, brother? At 97 defense, 13 weeks without giving up a 7. Ooh, 97 defense was raw.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, everybody's a unit. Just play well, bro. Like I said, I mean, Josh Palmer, he had his game, but as long as you stop the main guy, basically the main two guys on offense, I mean, that you did your job. Keenan Allen, he didn't really impact the game. Everybody else, I mean, Quentin Johnson, man, talk about a whiff. Talk about a major whiff in the receiving core. Like, Rashee Rice is miles better than Quentin Johnson. Like,
hey, it was some Quentin Johnson fans out there now. There was some Quentin Johnson fans out there.
And there was some Rashee Rice haters too.
Jalen Hyatt.
You tell me which one of the Jalen Hyatt supporters. You tell me which one of those Tell me which one was
Joshua
the best.
Downs. There was a lot of people.
You
A
guys
lot
tell
of
me which
people.
one of those picks
And
was
Josh
the best
Downs
right
been
now.
solid though.
Downs has
far.
been solid. He had a great game versus the Browns.
Man, I don't want to do a PSA, but I might have to.
You know you going to. You know you want to.
Clarence, that was a fake tweet. Don't pay attention.
Yeah, please,
Okay,
God.
Yeah. Thank God. But yeah. I saw Clarence comment on Steve Smith. Look, Steve Smith knows wide receivers. Okay,
He very much does.
Without questioning him on that.
And
Steve Smith
loved Rasheed Rice. He said he liked what Rasheed Rice plays with.
He did. Mm-hmm. He did early.
Mm-hmm. And you want to know what's funny? I remember Chargers fans saying that Quentin Johnson might have some Larry Fitzgerald in this game down the line. I said, Larry Fitzgerald, where?
Larry Fitzgerald knew how to catch the ball with his hands. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Right. Like I saw Quentin Johnson caught the catch ball with his body, and on top of that, he was getting schemed open at TCU, bro. I already knew what time it was, man.
Mm.
He played
and
wide open system. He did not have to do anything as far as a wide receiver was concerned, and even then, he didn't go up and get the ball like he should have for a guy his size. So.
Yeah, we are not we not gonna comment on Justin Ross yet. I mean, we need details, bro, before we just go off on a limb. And I seen people that were just Justin Ross, and then they were like, cut his ass, and I was like, dang, like look, this is a PSA, but Kansas City fans who have been through the Tyreek Hill situation, all those other situations, we should know better than to rush to judgment on anybody.
Yeah.
So relax. Let's get the details out. It sounds crazy though. It do sound crazy. It sound like a felony. $25,000 worth of damage. That's a lot of ass kicking right there. I don't know what happened. Hopefully it work out the way it needs to work out, but let's not rush to judgment. We really can't talk about it because we really don't have nothing to talk about because we don't have no details yet. So when we get there, we'll get there. Definitely.
Yep. We just see something on paper and that's it. We got to see more evidence. But
yeah, bro, I didn't like they had his address on there and everything. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Yeah, we don't speak on paperwork.
John, we did meet the Chargers fan who had a Buffalo Wild Wings hat that was somehow met miraculously at the Chiefs game.
Hey, man, look, dog. Like, I'm sorry.
The Asian lady.
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've never seen a fan just act. I see fans act crazy, but not to that extent. I'm sorry. Something's up.
Have you ever seen somebody with a Buffalo Wild Wings hat before?
Bro, like she was doing the most, fam. She was doing the most on that clip, bro.
Hey, look, D-Mac, if you give me a Buffalo Wild Wings hat, I'll be out there acting crazy. It's like,
to that extent, bro. No, she extra with it, bro. She extra.
She is very extra, bro. She's definitely not real. She's definitely not a real person. I don't care what they say.
Like that woman on that plane. That motherfucker is not real. That
right there. Hell no. Ain't no real damn thing.
She was just too. It wasn't. And the problem is they don't show what plays she reacting to. They just show the reaction. I'm like, what happened down there that made you do that? All that stuff and jumping on your son and.
There's a lot.
Hey, Boogie, we ain't putting that comment up, bro.
Boogie ain't on the handshake. Oh no, Boogie.
We're not doing that, bro.
Boogie ain't like the handshake.
Boogie tripping.
I saw that video because Harms tweeted out. Shout out to Harms over there, RGR, man. He tweeted out. I was like, oh, that's been annoying everybody.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You see what the NFL is doing? You see what the NFL is doing? It's scripted for them.
Oh God.
Yeah. But anywho, man. Shout out to Taylor though, man. I mean, it's a real thing, man. You know, it looks real. You know what I'm saying? So, she got the 87 bracelet on. You know, her and Brittany, they get it off. They get it off pretty well. So, but look, Boogie, I said the same thing, bro. But, hey.
See, Quinn, y'all, wait a minute. What's going on in the chat? What's going on in the chat tonight? Y'all tripping.
Yo,
Blueface was wild at the Rams.
Yeah, Blueface was.
I'm like, that's
oh
allowed.
man,
I
That's
want him
allowed.
and his baby mamas to go somewhere far, far away. Just please. I'm over. I'm over all of that. I'm
they
sorry,
can't
Blueface.
get people to go to the games, Chuck. What they gonna do? Kick them out the suite? Come on, man.
No.
They
Hey,
need them
hey,
there.
listen,
They're
hey,
not gonna
man.
kick them out the suite.
Hey, listen. I mean, I'm not mad at him, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't know that went down in NFL games. No, but
Man, hey.
Hey, boo. He said it just like that.
somebody get Boogie. Somebody get Boogie's YouTube account, dog.
Somebody, hey, they said Rod Wave tried to jump out in the crowd, but they wouldn't let him.
I did
Yeah.
see that as well. That's funny.
He currently is performing tonight, though. He is performing.
Yeah,
Tonight.
he is. My daughter is there.
Rod.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rod.
Shout
But
out to Rod Wave.
but back to the product on the field, man. Let's
I
go.
forgot where we was at, bro. They threw us
Offense.
off with the
We got to get
We're gonna go to
Swiffer.
the offense, man. We're gonna talk about how
Okay,
legendary.
okay. So offense.
Ah,
What happened?
can you
What I do?
just chill for a minute?
Here
Damn.
we go.
Okay, my bad.
Golly. Anyway, we're gonna talk about how legendary Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are. All right, so Patrick Mahomes, he threw for over 400. Travis Kelce went for $179. Like early on, man, they were just getting it going, man. Like the Chargers, they said it in the post game. Like some of the players, like, dog, we was playing too much zone. When we played man, it kind of helped our defense some. And I mean, it looked like they was playing a lot of zone, man. Like Travis Kelce just found a spot, middle of the field per usual, getting open, first downs, big plays. But I know on that one big run he had, he should have stiff armed old boy. He trying to run him over, but I felt he should have stiff armed him, me personally. But they now hooked up for 50 touchdowns throughout their career. So let's go and talk about these two real quick, man. Like, do you see them slowing down anytime soon? Like this connection? Because people were saying that
No,
Travis was falling off. Like he was slowing down a
no,
little bit. But I don't see much. I don't see much
no.
slowing down.
Next question. No. Next question.
Travis Kelce found the youth after Taylor Swift. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, bro. Like
he's been playing amazing. And like you said, they came out because it's Brandon Staley's defense, so they played zone. And then they realized they can't keep playing zone because then they're going to get destroyed. So they went to man. And man did work for a period of time. I think also some of the play calling just kind of got stale too, but that's a different conversation. I think they took their foot off the gas pedal after they were up 24-17 for a bit. But also, when they started playing man and the Chiefs needed a drive, Mahomes just started scrambling against it. And somebody tweeted out, when are defenses gonna figure out that you need a QB spy Patrick Mahomes? And I quoted that said, when you could put 12 men on the field because you can't play zone because Travis Kelce is gonna kill you, and if Travis Kelce doesn't kill you, then Rashee Rice is gonna kill you. If you try and play man, and then you have to double Kelce because Kelce's going to kill one-on-one coverage, then you have to have two safeties over the top, and you can't QB spy him in that case. And that means that every time they turn the back to him, he's just going to scramble and run for the first down, as he did on that third 15 and got 16 yards. We saw it time and time again. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I will say overall, the offensive line had a spectacular game. This was a test for them that I wanted to see because even though Bosa is not what Bosa usually has been, Khalil Mack is still old. He still has some juice left in him. Tui for their rookie was playing very well for them. They shut him down. They shut him all down completely throughout the entire game. Patrick Mahomes had all the time in the world that he needed. I would like to see them play a little bit better against the man in the second half. But, again, growth with the wide receivers, which will come, in my personal opinion. Shout out to Mecole Hardman for making the impact that he did on that third down conversion. We'll get to the punt return, I'm sure. But overall, offense played a good game, certainly played great in the first half, and did what it needed to do in the second half on that drive when they needed it most, just to give them the breathing room to put it out. Yes, Boogie, yes. We saw 3 snaps for Wanya Morris, and he shut down to Khalil Mack, kind of pass rush attempt. So shout out to Wanya Morris for getting some action.
Yep. And like your best bet against Patrick Mahomes is to keep him in the pocket, but even then, that's extremely tough. It's extremely difficult. So Go ahead, country.
Shout out to Jawan Taylor. This is what 2 games in a row, not really mentioning his name, and
No
he
doubt.
held up nicely. So
And absolutely shut it down on the right side of the line, and that's why you got to get Juwan Taylor. So therefore, you don't have to help him on a consistent basis. And every time that he's been allowed to play football, he's been perfectly fine.
Our offensive line did well yesterday.
Very well.
Is Joey Bosa finished? What y'all think? Is he done? Is he cooked?
I mean, he's not an elite pass rusher. He's probably not even a great pass rusher. He's just a good one. That's it.
I don't know. I don't know if he's even good anymore. He looked average out there. He looked pretty average.
Because the injuries been caught up with him.
I think that is to an extent, but I also think that it's because this offensive line is just that damn good. Because I've seen them. They played well. They got after against the Raiders. I've seen them, get some pressure before on other teams, but there was just nothing they could do against our offensive line.
Yeah, but I mean that was mainly like in that Raiders game. I mean that was mainly like Khalil Mack doing his thing.
Yeah,
for the most part, you know what I mean. So
he had an insane day versus Raiders, and Aiden O'Connell just holding the ball for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Shout out to those two, man. You know what's crazy?
Did he play on a broken toe?
Oh, didn't know that.
I don't know that it's broken. That would be news to me, but I do know that he's playing through injuries. That is correct.
Yeah, but
he always playing through. He always hurt though.
Okay, he is always hurt. That is true.
I mean, it is the Chargers. They'll puncture your lung if you let them.
Oh God.
I was choked them all.
Hey, shout out to Tyrod Taylor for getting a win yesterday.
Right. Yo, man. Yeah, but shout out to Patrick and Trav though, man. You know what's crazy? Patrick Mahomes, his so-called down year, he is now tied for first in passing touchdowns. He's second in passing yards. I think he's fourth in passing rating.
Yep.
I'm
fourth
not sure.
passing rating, second in QBR to Brock Purdy. Mahomes is doing what Mahomes does, man. He's just playing at the top of the league. I said it also. Him and Lamar Jackson are the front runners for MVP. I think they separated themselves in the pack. And those two.
Did he lead the MVP talk?
I think it's them two. I think those are the two that are the best quarterbacks in the league right now. And it's a quarterback award. So there's other guys that deserve to be mentioned that aren't quarterbacks, but those are the two as far as realistic candidates because again, it's a quarterback award.
Yeah, that's unfortunate as far as the quarterback award. Just like the Heisman is pretty much a quarterback award. Because I mean, if you talk about non-quarterbacks, you talk about T.J. Watt, you talk about Myles Garrett, you talk about C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey. We talk about A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill. Yeah, just a few of those.
Lamar did have that bad game. Who was that? Pittsburgh? That they had that terrible game they shouldn't have lost to.
I mean, hell, Mahomes had a bad game too. So
when
everybody's. The
Jets game.
The Jets game? Yeah.
Okay.
The Jets game. Yeah.
Hey, he ain't lose, though. He ain't lose.
He didn't lose. Still didn't look good. I mean, Zach Wilson had a better performance on paper.
For 15 minutes?
Technically, that was only 15 minutes.
Okay, so Mahomes is only great in the fourth quarter.
So he had a better quarter. Okay.
So this is where the paper that you look at matters because analytics-wise, Patrick Mahomes had a better game, no doubt about it. But traditional stats-wise, Zach Wilson had a better game. Reason why is Patrick Mahomes, with his scrambling, changed the face of that game at a high level. And that's something that's not normally, captured really well in traditional stats.
Yeah, Mahomes balled in the most important quarter, and then he got to a decent start in the first quarter. But other than that, he wasn't good in the Jets game.
No, hey, that McCall Hardman interception. I've seen a lot of people blaming McCall for that. I don't know why.
It wasn't.
Nico ran the perfect route. That was actually the only time in which the offensive line did not get the job done. It just the little bit of late pressure just forced him not to be able to step into it, and that's why he left it short. If he puts it all into it, McCall had to step on him, and he's probably able to fix there. So
if you'd have threw that pass he threw the sky, he should have threw that to the McCall.
Like Khalil Mack, he was literally at Patrick Mahomes' feet on that interception. So Patrick really did.
It was a bad play all the way around.
Yeah, he was in his face. And Mahomes did miss Sky on that little deep route. He missed Rashee Rice on a corner route, I think, second half as well. where they went man and they sent a blitz, and he just missed him. I want to look it back because I couldn't really tell if that was Rashee Rice not adjusted the route properly or Mahomes overthrowing him. Probably a little bit of both. But yeah, so that unfortunately did happen. But ultimately, Mahomes played his best game of the year. A lot of it came in the first half, but then he was able to get the job done in the second half when they needed him to.
I do want to talk about 2 plays though.
Okay.
What the hell was that Justin Ross penalty? What was that whole play? I don't know what he was doing on that play.
Well, the one thing I will say is I've had some issues with Justin Ross and some of the routes that he's been running, and he quit on that route halfway through. He did not run it to the corner of the end zone like he should have, where the throw was, because, I mean, he just didn't run the route all the way through, and he would have had a shot at it if he did. He put his hands out, sort of, and kind of – he did forcefully push the guy. It was kind of a ticky-tack call, but if he runs the route normally like he should, he doesn't have to do that, and he could probably catch that ball for a touchdown. So
and that's a touchdown. Yeah.
My issue with that is his effort, and I've said it. When you're a guy that's at the bottom of the rotation, you have to take advantage of every single opportunity, and you have to hustle every single time for these type of things. If you're not doing that, then that's a problem. And so that's a separate issue from obviously whatever the off the field stuff is. If you're going to be out there for a limited amount of snaps, you have to take advantage of it. And he hasn't necessarily. We've seen flashes, but we've also seen the negatives as well.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now the second play, I still don't think Blake Bell caught that ball. I still don't. I don't. That didn't look like Kelce.
That was a
little suspect.
I feel like they gave him that one. They gave him that one because I definitely remember what play you're talking about. They gave him that one. Honestly, I felt good, it was complete. I thought he just ended up dropping it. You know what I'm saying?
It looked like he never had full total control of it. It was never a secure catch.
Right. Yeah, I didn't necessarily think so either. But, you know, when it's a call on the field and, you know, the way that they're looking at it, they said it was 2 steps and a football move. Okay. I mean, all right. I didn't necessarily think so, but I could also see why they decided to uphold the call. Me having issues, I mean, the CEH drop was annoying. The CEH first time always annoying. And then Blake Bell is the third tight end. I mean, both the third tight end and third running back spots. And look, this isn't make or break. This is dire, but both of those spots could be significantly upgraded with just a replacement level player, in my opinion, because both of those guys aren't bringing anything to the table. Blake Bell doesn't even block really at a high level right now. So what's the point?
That's the first time I've seen Blake Bell on the field in weeks, actually.
But it's just
I can remember him being on the field. With Clyde,
the target, man. And then anytime Clyde runs the ball on the first down, you can basically just chalk up the drive as a lost drive.
Yeah, man. Clyde,
now that I've seen Clyde for who he is, I can't unsee.
Boogie, they can't be worse, in my opinion, because Clyde is an all right pass protector, but he's not spectacular at it. So and they don't even use him necessarily often in that role, as being like the Jet McKinnon pass protector. So they can't be worse than him, in my opinion. That's just me, though.
Yeah, Clyde, man.
Well, somebody said the Boogie. Even if Clyde would have caught that, he probably would have got a safety because he would have got tackled.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be fast enough to get it out the end zone. So I think it was good that he jumped.
Yeah, and I saw Clyde. I saw highlights of Clyde. Man. I saw highlights of Clyde before the injury, bro, and he had that burst. He had a little agility, but then
it's gone.
It's
gone. It's all gone.
Back. It's not coming back.
It ended in week 11 at New Orleans when he got that injury. That was the end of it.
Yeah, it's a wrap, bro.
It's gone, bro. He's never
recovered from that.
It's actually kind of sad, bro. When you think about it, when we get away from it, we'll look back on it like the kid did have some potential to be something. He got hurt and he got hurt again, and it's just all his snap, all his speed is gone.
It is.
It's gone. The guy that we seen the opening night versus the Texans, that guy's gone.
Yeah,
the guy we saw run all over the Bills, that guy's gone.
Gone. He's gone. It's actually crazy.
Because I feel like, look, if he didn't get seriously hurt against New Orleans, I feel like at the end of the day, the draft pick might not have been as bad like how it is right now. But unfortunately, man, injuries are part of the game,
They
and
are.
it's
Yeah,
tough.
it happens, bro. Hey,
But
but
when
y'all want to talk about vision? If we're gonna talk about vision, Pacheco got some vision issues too, bro. And Pacheco stop. He got to stop going east and west. I need more north and south from you, bro. Like you're fast enough to get there, but maybe you're not fast enough to get there at the same time. Because he does a lot of this and then cut, and he. It's like I don't know. He got to stop doing that.
Yeah, I will
this,
say on one
Going
run,
east and west in the backfield. That has to stop.
I
go
will
ahead,
say
Chuck.
on one run, I do remember he went to the other side and he didn't need to go to the other side of the field. I'm like, bro, what you doing trying to go to the other side of the field? Like you had more lane, you had more of a lane open if you had stayed over here. So
I
yeah,
could have caught that pass. I would have got destroyed, but I would have caught it.
Look,
Uh,
the Pacheco thing is kind of an experiment. We've seen better vision from him at times this year, and then we've seen some of the ills of that. He's trying to learn it, and that's going to come with some growing pains, and at times it does bite him in the ass. But I will also say that they're still trying to get to some of the outside zone stuff that they're always going to try to do, and at least Pacheco is somewhat faster to run some of that, but
mhm.
also going to be stopped occasionally as well, and it's not going to look great.
He's
So some of
definitely a work in progress. You can tell it's a work in progress, but that's
but
one
it
of the
has
things that
it
if
has
I'm
improved.
nitpicking,
I think it has improved, and that's really all you can ask for is it's getting better, and that's a good thing certainly to say. But I still think you can get better at the third running back spot. But I will also say, to Quinn's point, yeah, instead of CEH first down runs, get creative and use Tony in the backfield because we've seen some times in which Tony's been effective running the ball out of the backfield or Hardman on some of those things. Do that because
uh,
if you but here's the thing: if you're gonna run outside zone and you're gonna run these toss plays with those types of guys, those guys actually have the speed to get to the edge and make it matter because CEH can't do that anymore. So that's the thing for me. That, what go ahead, country.
yeah.
I was just saying,
Running
no,
back.
I'm agreeing.
Oh, okay.
CEH can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Um, has Tony fallen out of favor?
Look, we said at the beginning of the year
Is it
like
too early? Too early to say?
look like he's more of a gadget guy in his offense. That's what it's looking like.
I
Okay.
Because
I
look,
go
go
ahead,
ahead, Steven.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, because it transitions over to the next guy I want to talk about. I want to talk about Rashee Rice because Rashee Rice he seems to be wide receiver one out of all the wide receivers in this group. He's still second on the team in targets. That trust is building. Like the first few weeks, like his snap count was going like up and down, kind of fluctuating a little bit. But it looks like they're trying to get a little more consistent with Rashid snap count. So like in that 50-60% range. That's what it's been like the past two games with Rashee Rice. So that trust is being built. You saw him score a touchdown. He had a decent game overall. I remember that one highlight. He truck stick old boy on that screen pass. We got that first down. I was like, hoo, 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 hoo.
Oh man.
Like, truck
Oh,
stick the hell out
I
of that boy, man.
I was so happy to see it. You ready to pass over. Oh, that was beautiful. He
Bro, man, get your weight up. Get your weight up.
he
Literally
told
on
him
that
get
run,
off
dog.
the train tracks, man. Oh no, that was,
Hey,
but I agree with you. Rasheed Rice certainly is number one wide receiver. And technically by snap count he wasn't, but you can tell he is the number one wide receiver. They are scheming things up for him to get him open. They used him a little bit more outside in this game just to do some of those different things with him. And that's what they need to do because he's the most reliable wide receiver consistently, certainly to play off of Travis Kelce right now, and that's the important part of it. The next evolution is a little bit more consistency versus man, but the truth is, well, it's going to be very interesting because I talked about it, the wide receiver rotation. You talked about is Tony kind of out of favor. I think it's just what he is. He's going to be a low snap count guy. He's going to be used in specific times. We saw him get a touch early as well. It'll be interesting to see how much he gets gadget stuff versus real wide receiver stuff. I still think he can be used more so on wide receiver stuff if you're going to give him limited snap counts. But it looks like they want MVS, Sky, and Rice to be the top three right now, and I'm fine with that. They just have to make sure that they are using those guys effectively. And as Rice continues to improve, that's important. how Mecole continues to get more snaps is going to be very interesting. Who he takes those away from. If it's MVS and Sky, that would make some more sense, in my opinion, than taking him away from Rice based on what he can do and what those guys are asked to do right now. And then, of course, when Justin Watson is back, what his role is going to end up being is going to be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
What's your rotation right now? Because I'm looking at Rice, MVS, Sky, McCall. I mix Tony in when I can.
Well, so far from what I'm seeing, it's looking like MVS, Rasheed Rice, and Sky. I mean, according to the amount of snaps they've been playing,
Yeah,
these past few weeks.
I think that's the clear top three. And then, good night, Harold. I think that's the clear top three, and then you work, and you kind of work Mecole and Tony in as of right now. But I don't know where Watson is going to fit into that. It's kind of tough to see where exactly he's going to fit in. And where exactly
is there going to be a log jam?
It is.
Is Richie James coming back?
It's been a log jam.
The fact that they said it's an MCL thing and the fact that it's probably going to be long term makes me feel like he's just going to kind of be on IR for a very long time, and just stay up there until maybe we possibly bring you back, but probably not.
Because what do you do? What do you do with Watson when he comes back?
And I don't know. You take away some snaps from MVS.
Yeah, he gonna
hopefully.
Be the
I mean, if he keep putting up Sundays like he just did, you're not gonna be able to take it from Watson.
But this is the first Sunday all season we've seen from MVS where he finally got in the end zone. He finally had a decent game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Other than that, he's been running wind sprints. He's been jogging and doing.
Hey, shut up, man.
For the most part. Oh shoot.
Watson is going to get snaps, though. He is going to get snaps because they trust him. So they're going to have to find him somewhere.
But
yeah, we've been having issues with that, though. That's Ross.
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get Watson and MVS are literally like the same guy almost.
It's redundant.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
But I think that it's good that they had this game out of their mini bye week because you could tell they kind of distilled some of that stuff down, and we'll see if Watson does come back. It'll be interesting to see how exactly that rotation looks. But I'm always going to say, after that Miami game, during the bye week, they're going to self-scout, and after that first game at Philly, I think, or in Kansas City versus Philly, we'll be able to see what they think of this wide receiver rotation because they should have it down by then after they go out to the bye.
And Mecole is back. You know what I'm saying? Mecole knows the system, so you got to throw him in there too. It'll be interesting to see how this rotation is going to work out. But I know for a fact that it looked like Rasheed Rice and Sky Moore and MVS look like they rose solidified so far, but things can change after the bye week, like you mentioned, D-Max. So.
And I will give Sky this. Sky hasn't quit.
Nah.
He's still running it. Just like we said, Ross was in there, but he wasn't running 100%. Sky's still running 100%. He's still blocking.
Yeah, I'd say
a crucial block. Actually, that was a great block he had to free Mahomes up for that 16-yarder. But
he's
still working.
He tries hard as far as that's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Say what?
I said he tries very hard as far as blocking is concerned. That's something that always shows up on tape.
And that's how you stay on the field.
Yeah.
Because he's on the field. He's on the field. Being on the field is not the problem.
I know. It's the targets. He only getting like 2 or 3 targets a game.
If I was Sky, this is what I would do. This is a PSA. So I'm not, this is not any reflections of D-Mac, Chuck, or anybody affiliated with Kingdom Cast. If I was Sky Moore, I would actually go to Mahomes and ask him, what am I doing wrong? What do you need to see? What do I need to do to get back in your good graces? What can I do to get 40 snaps and 5 targets? What do I need to do? And how much is Kelce affecting his targets? Because they're both like possession guys over the middle guys. How much is Kelce just taken away from? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Kelce though, so you can't get mad. You can't get mad and say Mahomes, you're throwing to the Hall of Fame tight end too much. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, especially getting open.
Yeah,
10+ target dude a game.
obviously Mahomes trusts Kelce to the maximum amount. So
to the up.
targeting him.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that he's taken away from Sky's possible targets. It's just there are times in which Sky is. We've been through this. Sky sometimes gets open and doesn't get the target. Sometimes Sky gets open in a different part of the rep and doesn't get thrown the ball for other reasons. But there are also times in which Sky doesn't get open, and because he doesn't get open on certain man snaps, and that limits the amount of times he can get targeted. There are opportunities for Sky if he's able to get open in man-to-man coverage that he can get the ball, but he just has to perform a little bit better in that aspect from his perspective. And then obviously the other getting the ball to him is outside of his hands.
See, Quinn, I don't think we should be comparing Sky and Rice. It's two different dudes. Like, they shouldn't be compared. They do two different things. Like, they're not on the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not the same person to me. Like, I don't think Sky affects Rice or vice versa. Like, they don't compare to me.
What I will say is that Rice does operate out of the slot at a high level, and the fact that he can do it versus zone does make him a little bit more scheme agnostic.
That's a typo. That's a nasty typo right there.
That's disgusting. But Sky is still very good against man coverage, and he needs to get those snaps, and he needs to show out in those snaps to make sure that he can show Mahomes that he can do that. And we've seen times in which he's able to take advantage of some of those out routes, but he also sometimes doesn't run the route the way that it needs to be run. So, again, work in progress, but Sky needs to continue to earn that trust as he goes through it, and we're going to need, because there's still, like I talked about, there's still some issues as far as man coverage from the wide receivers getting open when Kelce's doubled. That is an area in which you got to improve. And whether that's Cole getting, using his speed to threaten the defense deep a little bit more often, Sky being more consistent versus man coverage, Rice continued to get better against man coverage as well, and what some of the other guys possibly can bring to the table. They're the wide receivers versus man coverage right now is still an issue.
Yeah. Yep. I just think people are really just throwing in the towel on the kid, and I think it's entirely too early to be throwing a towel in on the kid.
Yeah, people are.
Also, with the same thing with Ross, until we find out what really happened, I think it's too early to be talking about cutting the kid. I don't know if we're gonna cut the kid. You know what I'm saying? Especially the number one thing you have to do in this organization is be open and honest. Shout out to Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, tell the truth, no matter how embarrassed you are. Tell the truth so they can protect you. If you do not tell the whole truth, and then we go back 6 months later and we find out you kicked her, you're off the team. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And so we've gone through this. They've obviously stuck by Willie Gay after his incident. They signed Charles Omenihu, even knowing that he had that incident that he was going to end up being suspended for. Again, where I'm not rushing to judgment. I'm not rushing to say that X, Y, and Z that he's going to end up being cut. So we don't know as far as that's concerned. We'll see what ends up happening.
Right.
Yep. I want to talk about our opponent that we just played not so long ago. We gotta talk about Justin Herbert, man. We gotta raise these questions with him. We gotta really deep dive into what he really did on those fourth quarter comebacks that he does have on his record, right? Because Chargers fans have said, he's talking about him leading the league in fourth quarter comebacks since he's been the quarterback of the Chargers, leading the NFL and all that stuff. But he also has 14 fourth quarter interceptions. That's also leading the NFL. And it just makes me wonder, like, which teams were you playing against for real when you made those comebacks? Like, how many of those teams were above 500? I know there's us. Us is one of his comebacks. 30-24. That was like early in the season a few years ago. But I'm looking at these teams and I'm seeing like mainly teams that aren't good. Like when you look at his fourth quarter comebacks on his resume.
The Chargers are they're they're confusing because obviously, if you line it up 1 through 53, they're probably better than over half the league.
Yeah.
It just on paper, they've been better than us countless years going into that game. They're better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Are you serious? Y'all went up 28-0. Y'all shouldn't lose this game. They're just you never know what you're gonna get from the Chargers, bro. From game to game, it could be whoever they play, and you don't know what they're gonna turn up to be in the same game.
I know exactly who the Chargers are. Like, they a team that always lets teams hang around somehow for the most part, and then that fourth quarter comes around, the game gets tight, they fold for the most part. That's been their identity for a long time now.
How much were they up against in Jacksonville though? Cause
it was 27.
Like they was up 28, right?
It was
27 to nothing. Yeah, they came back.
You can't lose those type of games, bro.
I agree.
I'm gonna quote the great Coach Green. Rest in peace. They are who we thought they were. They've been the same team for the last half decade. You can play well, you can put up numbers, you can look really good on paper in August and look amazing, and people will pick you to win the division. And ultimately, you won't because you aren't that good. You will find ways to fold when it matters most versus good teams. You'll lose random games to bad teams because you'll have injuries. You know guys are going to be in and out of the lineup. You continue to try and press the win now button consistently over time, and you haven't been able to. And you've had to cut guys, and you've overpaid guys, and they've been injured and out of the lineup. It's just a reality situation. Your coach can't coach defensively. He has a stale system that continues to get taken advantage of. Your offensive coach came in, tried to do some impressive things, but ultimately he really has a system that gets stale in the second half and can be taken advantage of, and that's exactly what happened this week. The truth doesn't matter. You are who we thought you were. You are frauds that can get picked on paper every single August, and then by November, everybody's like, "Oh, it's the Chargers doing the Chargers thing again."
And this ain't new either. Y'all were like this when Drew Brees was there. Y'all were like this when Phillip Rivers was there. Y'all were like this when who's the kid that got mad and was slapping the reporter? Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf. Yeah.
Y'all been like this. This ain't new.
And as far as Justin Herbert is concerned, like I said, the kid is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, no doubt about it, because his arm talent is impressive. He's able to extend plays. He actually usually follows scheme as far as going through progressions pretty well, but sometimes he does a little too much. It's just in certain moments he gives it up, man. At certain times he makes the wrong decision, especially when his team needs him to try and carry things, and he just can't take it that extra mile. And not everybody can, but that also just makes you Phillip Rivers 2.0.
And my thing is this, like Herbert, here's the thing. Many people put him in top 5 conversations, and I'm sorry, he don't belong there. And like you said, D-Mac.
Talent-wise, he does, though.
But here's my thing. Like, he's very talented. I'm not calling this dude a scrub or nothing. He's mad talented and everything, but all of the deficiencies that we have mentioned already with him, that doesn't speak top 5 to me, bro. It just does not. If they speak fantasy football quarterback / social media quarterback, I don't think man Alcho was lying. He might not be lying about that, people. I'm just saying.
Is he in that tier? Is he in that tier with? Is he in that tier with Dak and Kirk Cousins? How they get the prime time and they just can't perform?
He's better than those guys, though. He's better than those guys. He's more
talented. Is he though?
So here's the thing, and Emmanuel Acho does lie, consistently, but he did not lie. That don't make everybody else worse to make Justin Herbert better. You have to acknowledge the things with Justin Herbert that he doesn't do well, and you can't just smooth over him because of how much talent he has. And ultimately, that's what keeps him out of my personal top 5. Now, when I've made my quarterback tiers, I've always talked about Mahomes is obviously in the tier by himself. And then there's 6 quarterbacks in that second tier for me. Now, I have them ordered where Herbert is still outside the top 5, but his talent is so immense that it's hard to keep him outside of that next tier. But the reality situation is when the game is on the line, out of all those guys, to be honest with you, I trust Hurts more. I trust Lamar more. I trust Burrow more. I even trust Josh Allen more. And that's a lot to say that you trust Josh Allen more.
Yeah, because Josh Allen be making some.
I do. I've seen them been able to do it at times. So that's the reality of the situation. And that's just something you got to live with. I'm missing somebody in that group. Who am I missing?
You said
Trevor Lawrence. I trust Trevor Lawrence because I seen him do it against Justin Herbert. So there you go. I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah, and my thing is this,
so
bro.
did they jump him this year?
I think they all
Bro,
did.
I mean, coming into this year, he wasn't in my top 5. I had all of those guys ahead of him anyway. I had him 7th out of that group because I can't trust him when it matters most to make the right play.
And here's another thing I've issued.
Something that says that I can.
Right. Here's another thing I've issue with as far as Chargers fans. They keep saying it's coaching. They keep saying it's defense all the time with Herbert. I'm like, bro, it's him too, man. Because look, we done seen Patrick Mahomes carry a sorry defense to the AFC Championship game. We done seen Patrick Mahomes have a middle of the pack defense and win the Super Bowl. We done seen Joe Burrow. Granted, like Cincinnati's defense did most of the legwork, but when it was time to make plays, he made them. And Cincinnati got to the Super Bowl. So how many more excuses are you going to give to Justin Herbert? How many times you keep doing this every year?
You can't give somebody credit for not doing something that they haven't yet. And so I can point to all of these guys. I've seen Lamar go into Tennessee and win a playoff game pretty much single-handedly on the offensive side of the ball. Like you said, I've seen Burrow in clutch moments be able to make those plays. I've seen Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert in the clutch moments be able to make those plays. I've seen Josh Allen in clutch moments be able to make those plays. I've seen Jalen Hurts in clutch moments be able to make those plays. I can't say that about Justin Herbert. And until I can say that, I can't put money over those guys because all those guys have the talent worthy to be in that tier, and they have that extra aspect.
How do you fix it?
Yeah, you don't.
I think it's the mental, bro. I think it's the mental aspect.
If I change the coach and give him an offensive-minded coach right now, can I fix him?
It's not Kellen Moore. Just letting you know right now, it's not Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's not the answer. Let's just get that out.
No, he's clearly not the answer right now.
He doesn't need to be fixed. He can now look. The team in and of itself, it can use better defensive coaching. That's no doubt about it. It could use better offense.
Oh, by far.
No doubt about it. They can use upgrades on both sides of the ball. There's no doubt about it. But ultimately, him getting it done in those moments is going to come down to him and his own mental growth. Certain guys grow out of it, like Peyton Manning obviously struggled early on in clutch moments in his career and was able to get better over the course of his career and have those signature times. Other guys never get it. Phillip Rivers, he was in those times. He never got it. Never did it, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking of the Chargers defense, I'm glad you brought that up. You remember on that 1/3 and 15, there was 7 defensive backs playing towards the first down marker or behind the first down. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? What kind of defense is that, bro? Like,
let Mahomes run from the first down. That's what it was.
Is that Brandon?
Let Mahomes run for the first down.
There you go. You all said it at the same time. I mean, it's it's a thing. It's what Staley decided to do. So shout out to Brandon Staley and his infinite wisdom. And his pre-game stretches in which he's doing things.
Okay, we kind of approached this subject last podcast, but are the Chargers cursed? Did Marty Schottenheimer put some on the Chargers? They haven't been right since they fired him. He went 14-2, and they fired him anyway. They haven't been right since.
Certain franchises are just bad, and they always will be bad, and that's the Chargers.
I can't, but they got so much talent every year.
I mean, D makes something up. I ain't got nothing else to say.
I mean, their franchise is bad. That's them.
Bad organizations do bad things, man.
It's from the medical staff on down, from ownership on down, they're bad. Just every year. It's something. Every year. We know somebody's going to wind up hurt for the season in training camp. Every year, they're gonna start slow. Every year they do it. Derwin James is going to get hurt. All of a sudden, Mike Williams, I mean, what is this, the third year in a row he's out for the season?
It's either 1 or 2 every year. It's always 1 or 2.
They can't stay healthy. The coach doesn't make the right decisions. He can't coach defense. their owner moved them from San Diego to play in a soccer stadium, and they rent the stadium that they currently play in. They don't have any fans. The quarterback can't be clutch. The guys can't stay healthy. It is what it is. That's their franchise. They gotta guys. They gotta trade guys back to the Patriots after they paid him a whole bunch of money, and now J.C. Jackson looks like he actually knows what he's doing because he's in the system.
Bruh, he remembered how to play this week. What is? Are you serious?
They were able to shut Stephon Diggs down. He was rotating for Jack Jones just fine.
Dog, he was a complete bust out in L.A. He got Justin Watson burnt him. Everybody burnt. He looked like a shell of himself. He went back 1 week, and he's Pro Bowl caliber again. How does that happen?
That's what happens when you use a player in the wrong system, and then you use them in the right system.
Yep. Shout out to 90
Chicago, y'all should be calling for Herbert. Call for Herbert. Get him out of there. He might be something with y'all.
I was about to say, I don't know if we want Chicago getting another talented quarterback.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Chicago, boy. Oof.
Well, I ain't scared of Chicago.
But my thing is this. With the Chargers though, man, the Chargers fans, they've been begging for the Spanos to sell the team for the past 5 years or so, man. They've been begging for that to happen, but I tell them, I said, man, look like y'all gonna be stuck, bro.
Man, hey, Therese used to say, I don't want to quote Therese because I don't want to quote Therese, but I think Therese said that stadium was a dump. Like that was the word around the league that it was a dump. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Y'all just suck, bro. It is what it is. Now y'all got fake fans representing y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't got that bad.
They literally had to plant a fan in a Buffalo Wild Wings hat just for y'all to have a super fan.
They chose to put androids in your seats.
Yeah,
to promote a movie.
That was strange.
Now the movie ain't even in the theaters no more, and they still there.
Yeah, that was crazy. That one was wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
that was crazy.
Oh man, poor Chargers.
Get them out of here. Yeah.
Please
send the Chargers to San Antonio, man. Get them out of there. Save them.
San Antonio.
San Antonio's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Man, they need to find a cheerleader or something to go file some charges or something. They just get rid of it. I'm sorry.
Oh Lord.
Man. But yeah.
Oh, and don't forget next week. You guys are a dumpster fire too.
Yeah. Hey, look, they won. They beat the Packers. Shout out to them.
Yep, they did get they did pull it out. So yeah.
Did they win or the Packers lose?
The Packers lost.
Okay.
It counts as a win for them, but yeah, the Packers lost.
Look, they might be worse off, but they might be even worse off than the Chargers because their quarterback is old. The wide receivers are divas. They want to get out of here. The defense has been playing like a shell of itself. They kind of got a little life. We gave them a little life, and now they think they gonna do something. But
so I'll ask you this: would you rather have Sean Payton as your coach or Justin Herbert as your quarterback if you were starting a franchise?
I'd rather have Justin Herbert as my quarterback.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, bro.
Like there you go. Then Chargers are in a better place then.
Yeah, you can coach him because like Sean Payton has a rough time adjusting after halftime. After halftime, he has a hard time adjusting in the second half of the game. So, but
actually, we ain't got to hold back nothing the next week. So,
right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because like we talked about it, they did not take the Broncos seriously the first time around.
At all.
Will we see, because we saw better situational play calls in the first half of last week's game, will we see that carry over in the Broncos? Because like you said, we're not going to see him again. Will they want to put that on tape? It's going to be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's go to the sponsor real quick, and then I'm going to talk a little bit what happened across the league, and then we'll get up out of here. All right, so homage today, the special for today is $75. If you spend $75 or more on orders, it's free shipping. So you spend $75, get free shipping on your order. The NBA season begins tomorrow, so we still got the NBA trading card tees going on. We got the WNBA stuff too. I see how much they don't release some WNBA stuff too. Shout out to the Las Vegas Aces.
I got to give me a Liberty thing. That's not.
They just won the title, right?
Yeah,
who won the title?
The Aces
they went back to back. Yeah, shout out to Agent Wilson, Kelce Plum, and them. So yeah, then you got your throwback NFL pullovers. I think we still got a few sizes left in the Chiefs one. So if you haven't got that, hurry up and get those before they're gone. The MLB postseason is going on. Nothing solidified there yet. You got the shirts for the MLB, and they got a Donna Kelce shirt now. That's crazy.
They got a Donna Kelce shirt?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mama Kelce, she big out here, yo.
How about that? Chucky Soup.
The Rangers are about to send the Astros home in Game 7, so if you're a Rangers fan, happy.
Thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
So y'all copy some gear, pay homage.
After Astros.
Pay homage.
Pay homage. I'm actually upset that I had to leave because my starter jacket and my tee is going to be coming to my place here, I think tomorrow. So I'm gonna be very happy to get that when I get back, man.
Hey.
Shout out to homage.
Shout out. Around the league, huh?
But yeah, I want to get to the Miami Dolphins, man, because it's smelling very front runner and fraudulent over there in Miami. So the past 22 games,
it's smelling fraudulent though.
They have not beat a team over 500. The past 22 matchups against a team over 500. That smells pretty fraudulently. Like now, look, they put up all these numbers. Tyreek Hill, he's still on pace to get 2,000 yards receiving. Tua putting up his numbers as well. Jalen Waddle's getting the mix a little bit. But they got held in check last night. Mostert, after having that big game, he got held in check. They only ended up with 17 points, man. So we seem like when the Dolphins go up against these elite teams or these teams that are above 500, they get punched in the mouth pretty good. So
sound familiar?
Yeah, kind of does.
They're I mean, this is what I said. The Vic Fangio's defense can be taken advantage of. It has been taken advantage of across the entire league. Obviously, you want to see if Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey coming back will change that. We'll end up seeing, but still, it's Fangio's defense that can be taken advantage of. And truthfully, their offense, if you can make it one-dimensional, really has some issues because you can get after Tua because their offensive line is bad, like really bad. As long as you can cover Tyreek Hill for 2.5 seconds, which is not an easy thing to do, then you have a chance to get them some problems. So yeah, that if your offense is rolling against that defense, which against good teams it normally will be, you can make their offense one-dimensional, and then at that point you're getting after Tua and giving them some help. So Miami played a very good team and lost to a very good team pretty handily.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think Tua is though. I still think they need to upgrade that quarterback position.
He's a solid quarterback, but he's not a difference maker.
He's solid, but he's not going to take you.
No, he's not
deep into January.
You're not. You can't throw Tua out there and go toe to toe with Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. You're just not going to be.
Yeah. So bottom line is this: Dolphins they could still win the AFC East, but at the end of the day, that team not going to be built for the playoffs.
No.
Like in December and January, I can just tell right now, December and January, if they not in South Beach, they're going to get punched in the mouth. So that's how I feel about it.
Well, shoot, if Buffalo keep losing how they losing, it'll be all right.
Yeah, go ahead, D-Mac. It's on you, man.
Yeah, speaking of which, Buffalo, Matt Milano being out, Ed Oliver being out, spine of that defense is falling apart. And that was the linchpin of what everything they wanted to do as far as the defensive system is concerned. Mac Jones had a field day throwing to Kendrick Bourne and those tight ends over the middle of the field. He had all the fun in the world doing so. And that's the reality of the situation. And Buffalo, the offense kind of had some wonky, aspects of it. You got to give the Patriots defense credit. They were able to get after him and really be physical. I thought the offense was fine for Buffalo, but not great. But ultimately, they're just going to have to win some shootouts against a lot of teams that are going to be able to take advantage of the middle of the field. And so that's just where they are. They've suffered too many injuries at this point on defense. So yeah, that's it. They're
Hey,
in a tough spot as far as that's concerned.
Josh Allen, bruh, you gotta stop relying on your legs so much, bro. It's gonna get you hurt, bro. You was taking some bad hits in that New England game, and they were showing you no remorse. You gotta chill, bro. You gotta use your weapons. You got weapons, bro. You got Diggs, you got Davis, you got Shakur. What's the kid name that we wanted, Chuck? Khalil?
No, but Khalil Shakir, they don't even use them.
Yeah, you got
Dalton
weapons, bro.
Kincaid.
Use them, dog. Cause y'all starting to look like y'all looked last year when y'all limped into the playoffs.
Yeah, been a rough 2 weeks for
Y'all
both of them.
showing signs.
Yes, it has been.
Y'all showing signs. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
whew,
Country, you got your own thoughts about the rest of the league?
the rest of the league looks boring. The rest of the league looks like I'm not scared of no team in the NFL right now. There's a couple of good teams, San Francisco, but like I said, they looking bad right now. They just took a bad loss to Cleveland. Philadelphia, they it looks in Philadelphia. How much help do y'all need? Y'all got to
Oh
trade for
man,
another
Man, they
Kevin
safety.
just
Byard
stole
is
Kevin Byard, man.
crazy.
Man,
That's
that
a
is so that is
Like
nasty
Howie,
work.
how'd you pull that off, Howie?
they needed that safety help badly. So shout out to Howie Roseman.
Hey, is he gonna be enough though?
We'll see.
I don't know about against
We'll
us,
see.
but you know,
We'll see. I me
Man,
personally, they they
oh
they are
boy,
very
they
upset with
need a quarterback, bro.
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
dog. Sam Howell ain't it, bro.
they need a
Sam
quarterback.
Howell's not it.
They need a quarterback. They need defensive coaching because they don't have good defensive coaching. They need a head coach and they need an offensive line. That's the truth. And look, Sam Howell's a fifth round quarterback. He's not going to hit normally. Like that's it would have been a long shot for him to turn into an NFL starter. It would be a good thing if he turns into an NFL backup. So this was always going to be a tough experiment, and it hasn't worked out to this point because they don't have what's necessary as far as the talent is concerned. Now I will say right now just looking around the league, the Ravens obviously handled the Lions. They're playing very good on both sides of the ball. And the GM, they probably do need a GM too. To me, the Chiefs and Ravens are the class of the AFC. I think the Bengals are also lurking, and the Jaguars are also lurking as well. And so those are the
How
two.
close are the Bengals are how close are they in the territory of we can't lose another game?
I don't
They
think
got 4 losses right now.
they got 3 losses. They're 3-3. They're still very much in the playoff hunt. So I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
They
think they're much.
PMC right now.
Yeah, but I don't think they're much in danger hunt from 2 reasons. One, because I think that they can afford to go on the wild card, and I think they feel comfortable on the road. So I think from those two aspects, I think they're fine, um, ultimately at least.
If
But
they
yeah,
lose to San Francisco, though,
yeah, yeah.
when you
It's not,
start getting around 4 or 5 losses, though, that's when we gonna start
well, the thing about
having
it,
them conversations.
it's difficult as far as that entire division because the division is just going to cannibalize itself. Shout out to the Steelers for somehow being 4-2.
TJ Watt, man.
Yeah. If the Ravens end up winning the division, then somebody's just gonna have to be the wild card. That's the reality situation, but it's also close, so we'll see. Yeah, but I think to me, the Bengals and Jaguars are kind of in that second tier of possible contenders, and then the Chiefs and Ravens are the class of the AFC. And as far as the NFC is concerned, everybody else is frauds except for the Niners and Eagles. I'll see about the Lions. I'll give them a question mark, but we won't learn about them until probably really later on in the season because they got a soft schedule. So Niners, Eagles,
Mhm.
Chiefs, Ravens, and we'll say the Jaguars and Bengals are lurking as far as NFLs. As far as serious teams are concerned, from my perspective.
So
I wonder how we
Seahawks
play
haven't
them,
done enough.
though.
So the
Huh?
Seahawks haven't done enough for you.
No, I really like the Seahawks, but ultimately they just lost to Uso, who's a really good pass rusher for them. They just don't have just enough. Like I like the run game. I really like Geno Smith, but sometimes he's had some issues this year. The offensive line's gone through a little bit. I think that'll be changing, but I think their defense is just a little bit away. They needed like one more pass rusher to be in that tier for me, and a little bit more consistent Geno Smith play. But I think that'll happen over the course of the season. So. They're close, but I put them. I don't think they're there the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy is just not going to allow you to be successful. It is what it is. You just got to accept that. Nobody else in the NFC South is serious as a football team, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody else in the North is worth a damn. Nobody else in the East is worth a damn. Nobody in the AFC South is worth a damn. Look,
we're running out of teams, D-Man.
That's the truth. The Bills. Josh Allen, that offense is explosive, but ultimately their defense is going to get exposed against a good team because they don't have the spine of it. That's the truth of the matter. They've just lost too much at this point. Miami, y'all are going to have to prove it to me. Once, I can say it's a fluke. Second time, you're not worth a damn to me. I'll have to see it. And we know nothing as far as the AFC West is worth it. So, yeah.
Yep. Before we get up out of here, man, we did mention TJ Watt, right? So, is he the clear defense player of the year, or is it like him and Myles Garrett? Are they tied?
I think there's a lot of players that can be in the defense player of the year.
Chris Jones, yeah, he made the conversation.
Yeah, you can't take Chris out of the conversation yet.
Yeah, TJ Miles, Chris. I think Fred Warner deserves to be in that conversation as well. He's playing spectacular.
Micah?
Yeah, I think Micah also deserves to be in that conversation for sure. So it's going to be a very interesting defensive.
Trent McDuffie? No, just kidding.
Shout out to Trent McDuffie.
All right, too much different tip. That's all weird though.
Yeah, no,
I want him in there.
Defensive player of the year race, because there's a few different guys that are getting after it, certainly.
Yeah, but I say TJ and Miles. I think they tied right now. I mean, that's me personally. Then like Chris Jones right behind it, probably. So
yeah, I say Jones and Warner would be the next two.
Yeah,
fairly so.
All right. So with that being said, that'll be it for tonight's show. It's on to the Denver Broncos once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share all your social media platforms. Until the next episode, we out.